So I want you right now to give a warm Auckland, New Zealand welcome for my good friend and the world's greatest sales trainer, Mr. Jordan Belfort.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think is the most important thing in life? Is it love? Friendship? Money? Sure, all of those sound like good answers, but there's one thing they all have in common. They make you happy. In almost every field, whether it's science, philosophy, or even art, happiness is considered one of the most important aspects of life. It's the feeling that gives our lives meaning. But what happens when that pursuit of happiness becomes a hunger for pleasure? And what happens when you get addicted to this feeling? In The Wolf of Wall Street, we see what happens when life becomes a never-ending party. But at what cost? Let's talk about it. Jordan starts off as a pretty normal dude, young, broke, and looking to make it big on Wall Street. All he wants to do in the start is work his way up. He's not money hungry. He even talks about caring about the customers while making trades. But then he meets Mike, the senior broker at the firm he joins. And Mike shows Jordan a mirror into what a broker's life really looks like. He takes a line of coke at noon and talks about drinking till he passes out. And when Jordan asks how he can even work after that, Mike says, "This is the only way you survive." He also tells him, "Don't worry about the clients, only care about your commissions. Make them run around till you're making the money."
It's all a fugazi. You know what a fugazi is?
No, Fugazi. It's fake.
Yeah, fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
After this talk, Jordan gets enticed by the broker life. He starts going to strip clubs, drinking, taking drugs. We start seeing inklings of the person he becomes in the future, and once he finally starts out as a broker, the firm shuts down due to a market crash. But Jordan, he remains resilient. He takes up any job he can get, and this is how he lands up in a rundown accounting firm. Over here, he learns about penny stocks and about the insane commission you get for them. He uses all the skills he picked up at his previous firm and uses them to go crazy selling these penny stocks for thousands of dollars, like hotcakes. And this is where it begins. He starts making money. People around him give him respect, and the cycle of addiction starts. But before we go ahead, there's a concept I want to talk to you about. It's called the Hedonic Treadmill. Picture this. You're running through a tunnel, and at the end, you can see a light, the clearing. But as you get closer, the end keeps shifting away, and no matter how hard you try, you're never able to reach it. Now just replace that clearing with money, pleasure, success, anything you're chasing. And that's basically what the Hedonic Treadmill is all about. It's the idea that once you achieve something, the satisfaction doesn't last, and soon, you find yourself wanting something more, and fast. When you're on the treadmill, it doesn't matter how fast you run, you'll never reach anywhere. There's a really nice word for this in Buddhism, tanha, which means craving, and they clearly warn against running behind that feeling, because you will never be able to get free from it. All right, now let's go back to Jordan's life and see how he keeps running on this treadmill till it destroys him completely. Jordan's rise starts small, a couple of thousand here and there. This gives him the push, and he decides to open his own firm. He hires people and trains them to be just like him, to run behind money and not care about anything else. And it works. His company blows up, quadruples in size in a span of months. It's a pit filled with cocaine, testosterone, and anything degenerate you can imagine. Drinks, drugs, full-on parades and orgies in the office. These people have completely given in to pleasure, and Jordan, he's at the helm of it. He's a completely different person, just running from one high to another. Countless drugs, countless affairs. You name it, he's done it. He blows off money like it's nothing, does illegal things left and right without a care in the world. He walks around the office, and people treat him like a god, because to everyone, he's living the dream. But from any sane person's perspective, none of this is actually making him happy. And yet, he chooses to ignore it, thinking the more money and pleasure he has, the better. And that's the trap of the hedonic treadmill. It keeps you running faster and faster, till you don't realize you're about to fall off, and the only way left is down. So the parties get louder, the drugs get stronger, and the risks, they get dumber. Jordan has become an addict. He can't have a single thought without pumping his body full of drugs. He's not able to comprehend the effect his actions are having on everyone around him, and how he's ruining every part of his life in this pursuit of pleasure. And finally, when the FBI comes knocking, he begins to spiral. He tries everything he can to escape, bribing the officers, illegally transferring the money to Swiss banks, but he's just not able to run away from his wrongdoings. He's trapped, running endlessly, until he falls, and fall he does. It starts with him getting arrested for DUI, driving while being on hard drugs, because he can't see anything except his money, not his wife, not his kids, not even his own life. But after this incident, it looks like he wants to change. He wants to leave. He wants to get away from this life. He wants to stop. He decides to step down as CEO from his company, and it feels like he's grown now. But just because you want to stop doesn't mean the treadmill will let you. In a split second, he's back. He doesn't care about anything again. He wants to feel the high again. It takes him almost drowning in his yacht for him to finally get his act together, but it's too late. His wife leaves him and takes the kids with her. He gets found guilty by the court and is forced to betray his friends to reduce his sentence, along with all of his money, which is confiscated by the FBI. The movie ends with him going to jail for his actions, with everything he cared about in ruins. So what does Jordan's life really show us? Is the lesson that running behind money and success is wrong? Or is it that you should always follow the rules? Or does it just show the finance industry in a bad light, full of addicts, corruption, and greed? I believe what we should learn from his life is this: finding meaning, finding something that keeps you grounded. Jordan had everything you could want in life: money, fame, pleasure, but something he had lost very early on was meaning. He built his life around chasing excess, thinking that the more he has, the better he'll be. More money, more women, more drugs, but more. It's a mirage. It moves as you get closer to it. Philosophers talk about mastering your desire. That pleasure should come from finding meaning in life, not from indulgence. But Jordan, he chose the opposite. He became a slave to his desires. In chasing pleasure, he lost meaning. He never learned to keep himself grounded. His life was dictated by his unchecked desire for more. It led to addiction, and finally, to destruction. A man who could make people buy anything ended up selling his own life over to pleasure. You need to stop treating happiness like any other high that can be manufactured, and start seeing it for what it really is. Something that should nurture your life and bring it fulfillment. Something that is earned, not bought. Something you achieve, not something you chase. It's never bad to be ambitious or to want to achieve success, but you need something to keep you grounded so that you don't forget the whole point of your life. So maybe the true cost of pleasure isn't money, fame, or success. It's far greater. It's losing your purpose, your identity, your very sense of meaning. Because when you live only for pleasure, you forget what you're actually living for.
The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not. But we were making more money than we knew what to do with.